So, why are we walking all this way? What are you supposed to show me?
That seems like something you should have asked days ago. We've been going for what seems like weeks, at least I think. I'm gonna fuck you with time.
There is next to no time online. The virtual plaza functions independently of it. However, it may still be perceived.
And that means...
That time is merely a concept that we've created in order to measure reality as we know it.
So what about the fact that I'm fucking tired?
Only gay people get tired.
Well then paint my ass like a rainbow, because I'm sleepy as fuck.
Leaping is merely an operational command to clean up our code makeup.
That sounds kinda convoluted to me.
Oh, but it is. Speaking of which, I'm sensing we're all a bit tired. Maybe we should go to sleep.
Oh, well I was worried I put this goddamn fire together for nothing.
It keeps my toes warm, and that's really all I care about.
Wait, you have toes?
Now this may come as an odd request, but despite being a demigod, I don't get to sleep easily. Could you tell me a story?
Oh, I know one about this guy called Shitpig who rubs himself with his own...
Fuck that, Gremlin, shut up. This is my time to shine. Have you two ever heard of the Boulder?
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 Oh boy, get ready. You're in for a damn good sleep.
That better not mean this is boring.
John Boulden is a 33-year-old U.S. Air Force veteran. He serves in Afghanistan, and apparently has traveled all over the world, which is something he seems to be very proud of. I wish I could have such an interesting life. Despite being very patriotic, and obviously very in touch with American politics, he holds some very strange and arguably extremist beliefs that have caused him to be followed by a group of people, or rather several groups of people. However, his politics aside, he has a very interesting personal life, and the way he interacts with people on the internet leaves you wanting even more. And I mean that in the best way possible, because this guy is quite entertaining. When he's not freaking out in the trolls in his chat, he's screaming at the trolls in his phone.
Where are my fucking children?
Or he's yelling at his neighbors.
Patrick, stop fucking around, I know it's you!
Or he's in autonomous zones threatening cops.
Fuckers, stand by. Too easy!
Or messing around with his junk on stream. And before we go any further, I suppose we should probably address the elephant in the room. You should never ask John Boulden what he's going to do with his genitals.
Unconcealing, I'm done not feeling. I might cry, I might yell, I might pull my dick out and show you my balls, and I demand satisfaction. You will watch, and I swear to God, America, I do not have an erection. Do not test me by not getting an erection, because I'm not eating a burrito and getting a blowjob from a woman who's currently being held hostage by the New York City police.
According to John, which is also backed up by his ex-wife, he and his wife didn't get along too well. Though he claims what his wife says is false. She claims that he bashed her head into the sink over a game of Minecraft. She also claims that he molested one of his children. While I have seen no evidence for this, it certainly makes me raise a brow. Those are some pretty harsh allegations, and quite frankly, I hope they're bullshit, because I don't want to think about what those kids had to go through. Since I have seen no evidence for it though, I'm going to assume it is not real. His complications with his ex-wife seem to have pushed him over the edge, or at least started to get him on the process of being pushed over the edge. He believes that she is responsible, or at least is tied to, all the trolling that is currently happening to him. Or well, before he got locked up. We'll touch on that more a bit later. Apparently, a group of trolls contacted his ex-wife, and she divulged all the details. This gave people more than enough ammunition to really start fucking with him. This ranged from calling his house to getting him to say unflattering things that he wasn't even aware of. It's real classy for the internet, I suppose.
I love cheese pizza.
As such, as the trolling got worse and worse, it made him go absolutely bonkers. He would go out of his way to respond to the trolls, seemingly unaware that method just does not work. While it did garner some really funny results, it also seemed to take a toll on his mental health. He seemed to lose his grip on reality, or at least became more detached from society. His methods for fighting the trolls were sending all kinds of threats, ranging from legal disputes to threats of violence if they were to show up at his door. He would even attempt to argue or reason with the trolls, which obviously isn't going to work. It's one of the oldest rules of the internet: you shouldn't feed the trolls. While it may seem to make sense that maybe you can get your point across and change somebody's mind, most people online just don't give a shit, and honestly, I can kind of admire that. I too really don't give much of a shit about anything, but there are limits of what you should and shouldn't do, if anything at all. And in some ways, I feel the trolls went a little too far, driving the man absolutely bonkers. But at the same time, maybe this was inevitable, and we're just lucky to have witnessed it online.
How many testicles do I have in my beanbag? 2? Wrong. 3. And I didn't get you pregnant because I've had a vasectomy. In fact, as soon as she said that, I went and got my jack rag out in case the police wanted to take a DNA sample, because I was afraid she was going to try to finger me for rape. There it is. This is the jack rag I used that night. By some miracle, I dropped it beside the toilet instead of into it.
Hell, how do you not fuck with a guy who's super open about his sexual deviancy? He's very open about his sexual activity, or rather lack thereof. He loves to tell stories about his sexual experiences, and then he'll go on and beg women to come and have sex with him. Truly a Chad move.
Alright. At this point, biographical dictionary, I'll accept tits with a great personality and somebody who wants to learn. She just has to be a heterosexual female who wants to be here and is brave enough to do that with a heterosexual 33-year-old male. But she has to legally be able to consent. We're going to demonstrate how adults deal with crisis and trauma, and I'm going to encourage you all to follow along. And I've been telling you for months, I'm not going to do anything I wouldn't ask you to do. I need one each heterosexual females.
But if that wasn't enough, John just can't seem to stop making legal threats when he's having legal problems of his own. A while back, he was arrested for misdemeanor harassment, supposedly for telling a cop to go fuck themselves. This resulted in him getting locked up for about 6 to 9 months. His recollection of the duration seems to vary. It seems like his time behind bars made him a little kooky, or kookier than he was. He claims that he was having a non-stop panic attack while he was inside, and that the correctional officers abused him by putting him in solitary confinement, though he never really divulges on why or how, which is why I don't take his word for everything he says. As soon as he got out, he got right back to streaming, and of course the trolls flocked back to him, only this time in greater number. They kept poking him with a stick, making him react a little more batty than he did before, each time getting worse and worse. Eventually, the stress imposed by the trolls made him break his probation, which dictates he could not consume alcoholic beverages. I'm sure the probation went wonderfully.
I'm sorry, Heather. I'm sorry, I need it. I'm sorry, I just need it.
Call me an asshole, but I think making veiled legal threats against a bunch of trolls on the internet while having legal problems of your own is not only intellectually dishonest, but pretty dumb.
That was my war. That was my war. But no, Lindsay, I didn't do anything. I only slept.
He used to have a blog under johnbolden.com, but after the website went under, one of the onlookers saw the perfect opportunity to seize the URL. Now, if you go to johnbolden.com, it leads to his legal status. As expected, he's not too thrilled about that, and he has claimed that he is going to sue the owner of the website, but of course nothing has been done as of yet. Eventually, the trolling went so far that he would flip out and start lashing out at police and civilians in Seattle. According to the police report, he yelled at civilians and police officers, pulled out his genitals when the cops arrived, and attempted to use a machete that he was brandishing as a weapon. While we can't see everything, we do have footage of his arrest, which I'll go ahead and put on the screen. I think you guys are definitely going to enjoy it. Geez, that really didn't turn out too well for him now, did it? And before you go feeling sorry for him, I should probably go over the fact that he coerced a girl who was under the influence of narcotics to have sex with him. As we all know, when somebody is drunk or really high, they're not in the position to consent for sexual activities. He found some girl during the Chaz/Chop era in Seattle, coerced her into staying with him, and slept with her. When I heard about this, it made me scratch my head. Didn't he know that's technically rape? Quite the odd thing. Every time she appeared in one of his videos, she was always crazy, freaking out from her drugs, or rather the withdrawal from them. Let me show you how that turned out.
I'm trying to protect your...
No, you're not! You can't say you're trying to protect me after you say that, bro!
I don't want to say your real name. Is it okay if I just call you Bill?
Bro, like you're fucking building and fucking odd shit. If you want to fucking say that, stop!
This girl is clearly not in the position to consent to sex. The scariest thing of it all, though, is that he just got out of police custody. He was recently released before his court date. None of the onlookers or observers have heard anything from him, but we're all waiting, keeping a close eye, making sure that he doesn't show up and start freaking out again. But then again, maybe that's what we do want. We want the entertainment, even if it's at the expense of another person.
That's it.
What, you didn't like it? Come on, he's one of my favorite ammo troops. I think he's pretty interesting.
I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever heard, but I've heard much better than that.
You know, somehow I really doubt that.
Well, when we eventually get to our destination, you will learn about all the great stories that follow me.
You're kind of a conceited ass.
You're not the first to tell me that. Regardless, I think it's time for me to rest. Do not do anything weird with my stem.
I didn't plan to.
Oh, good, because the last person who did that was steamed.
Oh, that makes me worried there's other sentient food out there. But hey, at least Gremlin's finally asleep. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for today's video. If you like what I do, leave a comment, rate, and subscribe. If you want to support me in a more personal way, you can check out the Patreon links and the Teespring links in the description. I've got more stuff coming down the pipeline. But until then, I'll see you degenerates next time.